All right. Welcome back, everyone. Happy May. Welcome to our Copilot from Microsoft 365. On behalf of IT Solutions, I'd like to welcome you to today's training event, where are my files, OneDrive, support, SharePoint, Teams, all these kind of topics. We provide everything here. We're always looking for ways to bring value to our local business communities, and we believe that this training today is going to knock that mission out of the park. IT Solutions is an information technology and managed security provider. And also, for anyone who has a question today, please use the Q&A button in Zoom to bring up the dialog box where you can enter your question. Also, I'll be putting the document in chat so you can look at the Copilot and follow along with Jolynn today. We will try to get to as many questions as possible during the allotted hour, but our presenter will be staying after the posted time as well to answer any additional questions that we don't get to during the regular presentation time. My name is Jason Cook. I am the Cloud Radio and Marketing Navigator Specialist here at IT Solutions. I work on some marketing and I do a lot of training and managing the portal, our Navigator portal here at IT Solutions. And we now hold these monthly events and would like to get any feedback for any future ideas or topics. We really appreciate it. Feel free to email me at jec@nextro.com. As you can see, we have Copilot, we have ChatGPT, so we try to stay on top of all the current new things coming out and training. So if you have any ideas, please let us know. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Jolynn Reen, trainer and all-around person of awesomeness who will be leading our learning journey today. Jolynn has been teaching Microsoft apps since they were first released. She's a certified trainer and Microsoft Master Instructor with over 30 years experience. She teaches on the basics to advanced features using programs like, again, Teams, Excel, SharePoint, Outlook, ChatGPT, Copilot, you name it. So Jolynn, please take it from here.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Jason. So welcome everybody to our session today on using Microsoft 365 Copilot. We're going to start out today with kind of talking about when you go to your Microsoft account, you can actually use Copilot as an app on its own. Then we're going to get into using Copilot in other apps like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. If we have time, we'll get into a little bit on Teams. But Copilot is actually, just to kind of give you a description as to what exactly is Copilot. So Copilot is an app that works inside of your Microsoft 365 to assist you with your files that you're working with. So it can help us to restructure what it is that we had typed in. It can help you create new things. It's kind of that assistant that we have to help us with either analyzing the data or, as I said, creating something new. So we're going to see a few different options when it comes to where you can go to use Copilot today. I get that back on my screen here. I'm going to actually be starting in that my Microsoft account. I'm just logged into my account, and you can see on my left-hand side, my menu bar on the left, I have the icon for Copilot. Copilot is available in several of your Microsoft 365 applications. If you take a look at your handout, right away on the very first page of the handout, it's giving you a list of the different apps as of today that have Copilot built in. So we can use Copilot in more than what we're going to cover today. It's available in a lot of different places. So anyway, what I want to start with is in your Microsoft account, if you open Copilot by going to the icon on the left-hand side, this will open up the application where you can see that we have on the screen right now, there's 6 different little tiles here. These are suggested searches of information that Copilot can help you with. Now, before I get into how to use this, a little bit more on how it works, just so everybody has a good understanding. So Copilot, being a part of your 365, it actually collaborates with the other apps. So in one place, we can be asking for information from other places. So keep in mind that it's actually connected with your other 365 apps. So it isn't just looking at the internet and getting an answer for a question that we ask. We can actually be analyzing files directly in it. We can have it analyze things that have happened in Teams, Outlook, etc., because it looks at your entire Microsoft account. So you want to make sure that you are actually logged in to your Microsoft account so that it knows to take advantage of the different features that you use within the other apps. So with that all being said, let's take a look at how this application can work for you. On page 2 of your handout, it starts to talk about the Copilot as an application, talks about how you get into it. There is several different things that you can actually do with Copilot. And of course, keep in mind that this is something that is new. Therefore, there's going to be some changes. They will always enhance features, add new features in. So if something looks a little bit different the next time you come in, it could be because they made an update. So it's your typical Microsoft apps that they, continuously improve, which is fantastic. So let me just kind of give you a quick rundown as to what you're seeing on the screen so far. So you have these tiles up at the top. These tiles are different suggestions on what you could use Copilot for. You could go down to the bottom middle of the window. You can see that it currently has my cursor blinking and it says use slash to insert people, files, and more. I'll describe and use that so you can see exactly what does that mean. You could take advantage of a lot of different great tools. So we'll talk about that whole search bar down at the bottom. But just so you know, at the top right is where the new chat is. Usually when you're going to switch topics, you want to start a new chat so that you're keeping the same information together within the chat history. It just makes it kind of easier for you to organize your information. But if you have some random questions and you're just in one chat, it is capable of having multiple topics in one chat if you want. If you want to. I've kind of really gotten into the habit of doing a new chat every time I change subjects, but anyway, just so you're aware of that. Also at the top right, you have the dot, 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 which is a menu. The menu is going to give you access to About Copilot. And just so you could see what it actually gives you. It's just giving you a little bit of information about Copilot. And at the very top paragraph, it's actually talking about that it uses a large language model. So if you've attended any of the sessions that we've had previously with any of the actually going out to, ChatGPT, this is Microsoft's version of ChatGPT, so it's using AI technology to give us the Copilot features. But Copilot is different than ChatGPT in the regards of it's for 365. So it's analyzing all of the information that you have within 365. ChatGPT doesn't do that because it's not part of your Microsoft suite of applications, just so you're aware. But you can explore what's possible with Copilot, see what's new with Copilot, which is always a good idea to keep up with, what is new within an application. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And back to the dot menu at the top, I just wanted to talk about a couple of other things. Copilot chats. If you open up Copilot chats, this is going to give you the history of the chats that you've done with Copilot. And you can see I have quite a few. I actually use it as often as I possibly can. A lot of times, though, I'm in an application like Excel, and I use it directly in the application. So this is a way that I could quickly and easily get into using ChatGPT for anything related to 365. But if I want to use it directly with PowerPoint or whatever, I go to that app and use it directly there. And by the way, I didn't mention this yet. I should probably do that. Copilot is not free. It is something that your organization does have to pay for. So it is a paid for service, just so you're aware. Okay, just a side note on that. Your IT company or department will keep track of all that for you. But anyway, just so you can see, this is going to give you access to previous chats that you've done. And that's where that new chat comes in handy, because the new chat is going to allow you then to keep that history of the previous chats that you've done staying on topic. Okay, something to think about. But I'm just going to close that window and back to that dotted menu. The last is from that menu at the top right. The last thing there is sending feedback. Microsoft does like to have get feedback on how the application is working. Is there new things that you would like to have added? You know, things like, why does it do this? And I thought it would do this kind of a thing. So just so you know, you can submit feedback if that's something that you need to do. Okay. So when it comes to kind of that licensing, it all depends on, so it is a per user type licensing. So if you want to have, you know, depending on your licensing with Microsoft, you can get deals by adding Copilot on. So that's something that you'd really want to talk with your Microsoft rep about. But anyway, let's go ahead and do some demonstrations on how this actually works and what's going to be the benefit of you actually using it. Well, when you look at these suggested prompts, so these 6 little tiles that we have here, you can see that it says translate. These are what are on my screen. This does periodically change, but it's letting you know that you could actually have text and have it be translated into a different language. Of course, Microsoft works with a lot of different languages. Also boost your knowledge. It can help you with a specific topic. So if I wanted to find out more about using the XLOOKUP function in Excel, I could actually ask the Copilot to help me with that. It also has this generate ideas. So list ideas for a fun remote team building event. That's kind of stuff that I actually use to look it up. So maybe that's why it's giving me that on there. But one of my favorite features that I use is actually what's new. Where it says, what's the latest from whoever the person is, organized by emails, chats, and files. Let me demonstrate how this feature works. This to me has saved me so much time. If I need, let's say that I was gone all day yesterday and I came back and I need to find out, you know, what's going on with a specific person. Did I have, you know, recent emails that I need to go back on? Do I have chats from that person? Do we have files that person was working on? I need to see what's been going on. I'm going to click what's new. What it brings up is a list of people from within your organization that you can actually see their information. By the way, it doesn't work with external people unless they are a part of your domain, because it's using your Microsoft 365 suite of apps to kind of generate the response. So they have to be a part of your domain for it to work. So I'm just going to choose this generic user I have called student one. And then you can see down in my chat window at the bottom, it says, what's the latest from student one? Organized by emails, chats, and files. If I wanted more, I could add to that, but I'm just going to go ahead and click send, which is the paper airplane on the right-hand side. It's going to automatically look through the history of my Outlook, my 365 accounts, etc., to find information related to student one. So depending on how much communication you've done with that person, it might take a minute for it to generate, just so you know. And by the way, I don't know if it's my internet connection, if I'm on Wi-Fi at the time when I'm doing this, but some things that I have it analyze are a little sluggish. I almost called you Chris. Jason, did you have someone with a question?
Yeah, we do. We have the question: does Copilot come with business premium license, or is it a separate subscription?
It's a separate. So it's something that gets added on to your current Microsoft license. Okay. Is that going to be the case forever? That I don't know. You know how Microsoft is with their licensing. And I'm kind of, because since they've been a company, I've been working with their licensing. I used to be a salesperson and sold licensing and stuff, and it's kind of crazy how their licensing works. Oh, actually, I came back saying that it couldn't assist me with that request right now, but let me go ahead and see if I can regenerate it. Speaking of having it be a little slower, not connecting correctly. Oh, now it's coming back with the right information. So it's separating things based on emails, based on chats, based on files that have been worked on with that specific user. I don't use that account very often, so you could see some dates that are a little bit old. But this is actually a really cool feature that it allows you to do that, to kind of go back to that information. Now, keep in mind, I'm in Copilot right now. I'm not in Outlook. Outlook can do different things than regular Copilot can. It can analyze all your messages, regardless if they're from a coworker or not, somebody in your domain. So anyway, here you can see that it gave me a couple of things down at the bottom. Tell me more about the virtual training. What were the discussions about? So if I want to dive in to more information related to this student one, I most certainly could. So just so you could see, I have all this generated. But I want to take this just a little bit further. Down at the bottom in my search, it says use / to insert people, files, and more. It even has this icon that I can click on to add people, files, and more for better results. So if I wanted to have it analyze another person, of course I could do that. But I'm just going to click in the box down at the bottom and type the /. When you do that, it brings up a menu. And by the way, Microsoft has been making changes to how the / works. We've been using it in Teams quite often. It changed a little bit on what it can actually do, but let me explain what happens here with Copilot. So here in Copilot, you have categories at the top of this menu. I'm on the all category, so I can see people, I can see recent documents, etc. But if I want to just focus on people, I can click people. If I want to focus on files, I can see files. If I want to see things based on meetings, I can come into meetings, and you can see it says for recaps and action items, recorded meetings work best. So it's kind of giving you a little bit of information when you go into these different categories. Also, I could click on emails, and you're going to see that it comes up with some emails that I was recently working with. So this is a way that we can kind of drill in to further information regarding whatever the topic would be. So I'm going to go to this PowerPoint presentation that I have here called Communication and Time Management. And it's actually can analyze that file directly here. So first I added in that file. Now I could actually have Copilot actually do something with that file. Summarize this PowerPoint in bullet points. And I just pressed enter after I typed that in. So the cool thing about Copilot is I can be here in this Copilot and have it work with files that I've recently been using. Oh, by the way, can I mention one thing? The files have to be cloud-based. If the file is saved on your C drive, a flash drive, etc., you will not have access to it. It only works with cloud-based files. So what it did was it came back and it says, here's a summarized bullet point list of the key points of this communication and time management presentation. So I didn't even have to open the presentation. Copilot can automatically analyze it directly within here. Talk about pretty cool tools. I love this. So I don't have to go search for a file, then open it, and then analyze it in the application. I could do it right here. So I could continue this conversation also. Do I have files that are similar to this presentation? I haven't asked it that before, but it's always nice to test things out and see what it is that you get, which, by the way, these are called prompts, also known as a chat. Prompts are very important to kind of understand how we prompt, because the more you give it, the better the results will be. So I asked it, just to let me know, do I have any files that are similar to this presentation? And it's coming back with the files. So, and once again, it's only looking for files that are on my cloud, but whether it's SharePoint, Teams, or OneDrive. Certainly here are some files similar. Let me go back up here. There we go. To your time management presentation, I have this communication and time management file from 2017, this project communication plan. I have effective communication. I have all of these other files that are related to this file. Talk about a time saver. I mean, things like this just shock me. I have the shivers kind of thinking about how all this works together. Can you just imagine? I mean, if you tried to do a search and find that information on your own, it's very difficult. Copilot is called Copilot for a reason because it's your assistant on all of your things in 365. I could spend all day just doing demonstrations on different tools that we have available within just this Copilot app. But I want to go into other applications with you as well. I can always come back to this, and I don't have to come here to do it. I'll show you another way you can access Copilot. Of course, this is Microsoft to remember, so we always have multiple ways to do the same things. So I'm just going to minimize this down, and I'm going to go to Excel next. So the thing about using Copilot in Excel, which starts on page 4 of your handout, one of the things to think about is, what if the Copilot icon, which is available on the Home tab of the ribbon, if you look at your Home tab of the ribbon, it's over on the right-hand side. If your Copilot icon is grayed out, that means that the workbook or file, whatever kind of program you're in, if the icon is grayed out, it means that the file is not saved to a cloud. Okay, just so you know. So I have this references worksheet, and I have some sales information with the name of the salesperson, each of the quarters, and some totals. If I want to analyze this data using Copilot, can I do that? Absolutely. But if I click Copilot, it's going to tell me something. So let me show you. When I click Copilot, it opens on the right-hand side of the screen. It can do data analysis. It can write formulas. It can organize and clean your data. It can do some modeling. It's got capabilities with what if analysis tools, which I use that a lot because I want to know information out of my range of cells. I don't always need to create a formula and store the answer. Sometimes I just want to know what the answer is. So I use Copilot in Excel probably the most. Out of all the applications, I probably use it in Excel the most because I'm in Excel quite a bit. But what you're seeing on the right-hand side is my choices are grayed out. So my create, edit with a sort and filter capability and understand to analyze the data, they're grayed out. Reason is because down at the bottom, it's telling you select data in an Excel table. So if you're not familiar with your data being in an Excel table, you can take your range of cells, turn it into a table so that the table can be analyzed by Copilot. If it's just a regular range of cells, it can't be analyzed. So if I'm within my range, I can go to the Insert tab of the ribbon, click Table, click OK, and it's automatically turning that range into a table. So now I can analyze that data. Otherwise, I can't if it's regular range of cells. So now you can see on the right-hand side, it automatically gave me create, which includes add formula columns, edit by sort and filtering, highlighting, and understand and analyze the data. I'll just do a couple of examples here for you today. Once again, I could spend all day showing you different examples, but I definitely encourage you to give some of this a try. You can always just make a copy of a workbook that you have, kind of do some playing with it, making sure that everything's in a table first. But down at the bottom, before I do a couple of things on the top here, down at the bottom, it says show data insights. We also have show a suggestion for formula column. And we have, these are suggestions, by the way. How can I highlight, filter, or sort my data? So I can go directly into those suggestions and have it help me analyze that data. Or I could just simply ask a question. Like maybe I want to ask it a question. Maybe I want to ask which salesperson, well, which name, because it's not called salesperson, which name has the highest sales, well, the highest total for QTR2. So just so you can see, you can ask it questions. Now, of course, this is a pretty small list, but still, it's nice to be able to do this. A lot of times for me, I'm working in like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 rows and different things. So being able to ask the computer questions without having to create a pivot table, create a formula, whatever, it's so much easier. So it actually told me, it actually gave me the answer. So top name by Q2 is Kendra James at 1950. The name with the highest total is Q2. So it actually gave me the answer. And it even says add to a new sheet. So if I click add to a new sheet, I automatically got a brand new worksheet. And look what it gave me. It gave me a pivot table based on what I was asking it. Isn't that crazy? It can create a pivot table. I could have even said, create a pivot table based on these fields. I mean, it's amazing what we can actually do. But let me go into some bigger range of data. I want to go into a bigger range of data. So this is company orders. And just to show you, it goes down through 1,400 rows of data. And I want the computer to analyze this information. Now, when we stop and think about analyzing lots of columns, lots of rows, Copilot is phenomenal on what it can actually do. So I'm going to start a new conversation. Well, I could stay in this conversation. I guess it doesn't really matter. But typically, when you have a different worksheet, you're going to want to start a new conversation. So I'm going to, and by the way, I have a bar on the right-hand side for Copilot. I'm going to click the Copilot icon. To go into the edit capabilities just so you could see that we could do this. I'm going to click edit where it says sort and filter, and it's telling me I can sort and filter data to keep things organized. So let's select a suggested prompt or describe what you want it to do. So do I want to show items with order date or this specific date? It's kind of telling you what it can actually do. I'm going to tell it that I want it to sort by largest to smallest. Oh, by the way, I should be talking to it because that's a lot of typing. Largest to smallest on the quantity column. I'll show you what I meant by I should be talking to it. Normally I don't type. I usually just ask it questions by just talking. Okay. So anyway, it's going to come back and do that for you. Could you just go to your filter, drop down and sort? Absolutely. Just so you know, you could do whatever it is that you need to do. As a matter of fact, let me ask another question about this. I want to highlight in green the country USA from the country column. So we can have it do conditional formatting for us. Also, things that I like to ask it are things like, what was the total orders for Andrew Fuller from this date to this date? I could say, what was the average quantity for Andrew Fuller? You know, all kinds of things can be asked. Let me actually ask it a couple of questions, which, by the way, it just highlighted in green all of the USA countries in the country column. But I'm going to do it with the microphone. At the bottom right in my Copilot window, I can simply click microphone and I can just talk to the computer. What is the average quantity for the salesperson, Andrew Fuller? I like being able to just talk. So it's understanding the data. Now, could I have a pivot table? Could I be doing a formula to get that? Yes, but what if I just want to know the answer to that question right now because somebody asked? So the average quantity for that salesperson, Andrew Fuller, once again, it's giving me the ability to have it automatically create a pivot table on a new sheet. I just think this is absolutely fantastic on what it's capable of doing. Now, I've kind of shown off a few things that Copilot is capable of doing here in Excel. I'll kind of leave it as that for right now. Um, it can do just about anything that you decide you want to ask it. I haven't found too many times that it's going to come back and say, I don't understand your request. So I try and, ask it different things all the time, but just so you kind of get that idea. One more thing before I leave here as well. There's a change topic icon right here as well. So if you want to change topic with this specific worksheet that you're in, you can always switch gears as well, just so you're aware you could do that. But let's talk about it because we've got so much to cover in our little bit of time that we have here. Let's go to our next application and see how we could use Copilot. Let's go to Microsoft Word. So in Microsoft Word, I have this Word document here, which is for a communication and time management handout. It's 22 pages, as you can see by the status bar down at the bottom left. And I want to have Copilot help me with this file. There's several different ways that we can actually utilize Copilot. I'm going to go to the bottom of this document. I'm going to Control N to jump to the bottom of this document. And let's say that I need to write a new paragraph. So I can type information in. And if I look at that, I go back and reread it, and I'm not quite sure if I like the way that I typed it in, I can select that data. Anytime that you select anything, you get your mini toolbar, of course, but notice what's on the mini toolbar now. Rewrite with Copilot. Also, you have the Copilot icon on the left-hand side where you can use that also to rewrite. So either way, you can go ahead and click on that Copilot icon, and you can see it's got two choices. If I choose it from the left-hand side, I can have it rewrite what I selected, or it can visualize it in a table. So if I have information, especially if it was things that I did tabs and stuff, I could say, put this in a table instead. So it can actually visualize it, put it directly within a table for you. But I'm going to say I wanted to rewrite with Copilot. So it can take whatever it is that you already had typed in, and it can help you with suggestions on what you could replace it with. And by the way, up at the top, it gave me 3 suggestions. Clear out your computers now, review your files, and so on. I do the arrow to go to the next one. It's time to tidy up your computer, review your files, blah, blah, blah. You can have it replace the selected text, or you can have it insert it below. You also have this regenerate icon and this adjust. I'm going to click adjust. From the adjust, it's using a neutral tone. What if I actually wanted to be more concise or more casual? I could choose whichever tone I wanted to use. So I'm going to choose casual. I'm going to say regenerate. So now it's going to come back with suggestions for me using a different tone. I use this a lot because sometimes when I write something, it's like, okay, does that make sense? Now, do I keep everything that Copilot gives me word for word? No, because I still needed to say it the way that I personally would say it, or that follows your company policies and procedures. So Copilot may not match exactly. So sometimes it's great for getting you started, those types of things, but you still have to have a mind of your own when it comes to completely writing things. So it's coming up with a casual rewrite is you should tidy up your computers now, check your files and stuff. So it's giving me all these different suggestions. So based on the rewrite of a couple of different things, it's showing me some options. If I want to replace it, I click replace and I'm good to go. But otherwise, as soon as I start typing, I open up a blank document and I start typing, or right now I'm in an area that I'm just going to start typing. Notice Copilot is there. Copilot is always there to help you. So you can simply go to the Copilot icon, even if I haven't started typing anything. And it says, describe what you want to write. I need information about making a paper airplane. So it can actually give you whatever it is that you need help with. So it can take existing information and help you regenerate it based on adjusting the tone even. And it can give you information based on whatever topics you give it. So to me, this has been absolutely fantastic to be able to have that assistance. Now, once again, I'm going to put it in my own words, that kind of thing. But when I did it this way, where I said, this is what I'm looking for information on, it wants to know if I want to keep it. It's only giving me one suggestion. I could regenerate, I could delete it, or I could say, for example, make it formal. I could say, make it funny, whatever. I could give it more to go on. It's kind of like feeding that prompt. I'm going to say keep it, just so you could see what exactly did it do. So it started with this one way to make a paper airplane is to follow these steps. So it gave the steps. Then it says, here's a video that you could watch, blah, 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 where we could be inserting. It didn't give me a website, but I could ask it. I could actually ask Copilot, what is a good website to show how to create a pivot table or whatever your topic would happen to be. So just so you can see that it can do all of that. But that's just one way to use Copilot here in Microsoft Word. Another option, go to the ribbon, the home tab of the ribbon on the right-hand side, click Copilot. You can have the Copilot pane on the right-hand side, just like we did with Excel. What it's going to give you is options for, I can chat, respond to your questions, and help you with writing or summarizing your document. What if I need a summary? If I click summarize this document, by the way, sometimes I need a summary or I need something short and sweet to help describe this so that we could use it for advertising or whatever the case might be. So it's going to analyze the document. Of course, it depends on how many pages it is. It may take a second for it to analyze the entire thing. When it does a summary, a lot of times it's a longer summary, but you can always tell it, I want 5 bullet points summarizing this document, whatever it is that you want it to do. And by the way, notice there's a microphone icon down at the bottom right. So you can be talking directly with Copilot, which I do 99% of the time because I don't like to type. I'd rather just say what I'm I'm saying in my head as I'm typing anyway. So just so you know, you have that wonderful talk to Copilot feature available it's starting to become more available in all of the apps. It started out just in Excel, but now it's available in other apps as well. I don't know why it wasn't available in other apps to begin with, but just so you could see. So it's almost there. It's kind of taking a little bit of time to do this many pages. I should have picked a shorter document, but anyway, it automatically is going to do that for you. I've had it actually create images for me. I'll show you a quick example of that because that can be done in any of your applications. It could be done right in the Copilot app as well, where we could say, insert an image related to whatever topic it is that you have. But you can see that it automatically gave me, here's the main ideas coming from the document, gave me a couple of paragraphs based on each of those main headings, which by the way, it does look at styles. Here in Microsoft Word, if you're a styles user, which I 100% am, if you're using things like styles 1, level 1, level 2, level 3, it analyzes those to help with the summarization. So depending on how you write your document, it could make a difference on the output as well. But let me go ahead and have it do something. I'm going to have it create, I'm going to see what it will do with this, create an image related to communication between, the more you give it, between two employees. So the more you give it for the prompt, the better the result will end up being, just so you kind of think about that, just like we do with ChatGPT. Okay. So, Jason, did somebody have a question that I can answer?
Yes, two questions. The first
Okay.
one is, will Copilot work with files saved on OneDrive, which is a backup on the cloud?
They do work with OneDrive files, correct?
Okay. And then the other
Yep.
one is, do all users need a Copilot license to see the results of a Copilot inquiry? For instance, your average request for Andrew Fuller, and if you opted to create a pivot table, would other users need a license to see that pivot table?
What a great question. The answer is no. They just would not be able to utilize, they wouldn't see the icon on the ribbon, they wouldn't be able to utilize the tool, but the results of what Copilot provides, they definitely can see those. So you can see if it created a chart or anything like that, definitely can see the result of it. So anyway, it came back. This response isn't based on the document. An image could not be created to represent communication. So anyway, just so you know, it doesn't always come back with exactly what you're looking for. It does generate images. I don't know why it didn't like my response, but that's okay. We've got a couple of other topics that we want to do anyway, but just so you could see an example of using Copilot within Microsoft Word, I'm going to actually go to PowerPoint next. I'm going to go to, kind of keeping with that same topic of communication, communication and time management. So I'm in a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. This is a presentation that has already been created. At the bottom left, it has 74 total slides. You can see that at the bottom left. So this is a pretty big presentation. I probably should have used a smaller one, sorry. But you're going to see that on the right-hand side of the home tab of the ribbon, I have my Copilot icon. As soon as I click on that, it will give me different suggestions, just like we got with Word and Excel once Excel was in a table that way. Anyway, I can chat, respond to your questions. It's giving you the same information that we got in Microsoft Word, just so you could see there is the microphone down at the bottom as well. But I could create a presentation from a file, which I'll show you how to do in a second. I could have it summarize this presentation or organize this presentation. I'm going to tell it to summarize this presentation. Once again, a lot of times with a Word document, with a PowerPoint, we need a summary of the presentation itself. So I'm going to, it automatically inserted that into the chat window. I just clicked the go button, the send button, and it automatically, that didn't take very long, 74 slides, it came back right away. So here's the summary of the slide deck. Here's the main ideas. Could you give me a short paragraph describing this presentation? Oops. So we can be asking it questions related to the presentation that we already have, which, by the way, this is definitely a program that I use images with, having it generate an image to put on a specific slide. But once it's done here, by the way, down at the bottom of this one, it says 4 references. I'm going to kind of scroll down on here. So basically what it has is, here's your summary of your slide deck, that main ideas that I gave it. Here's the short paragraphs. And then it says, ask me to help with something else, or here's some ideas of prompts to help guide you. It's showing me these 4 references. So this is where it got the information from. It does that in Microsoft Word also. If you're asking it a specific question about the document, like, does this document contain this information? I do that all the time. So instead of me having to go type in the search box to search for something, I just ask Microsoft Word Copilot to, does this document include this information? I could do that same here in PowerPoint, but you can see that it automatically gave me links to where that information is coming from, which is very cool. But let me continue the conversation. Does this presentation talk at all about body language? So when we're talking about, when we're talking about, it was still listening to me, when we are talking about it finding content within a file, it can do it within a workbook. It could do it within Word, Excel, whatever, PowerPoint. It's a great tool for any type of search capabilities, and the best is you can talk to it. So it clearly is your manager. So according to this presentation, yes, the presentation does talk about body language. It is mentioned in a form of nonverbal communication, and it's also giving me a reference of where that actually came from. So it's got this link. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and it automatically navigates me to the slide that had the information about the body language. So that's pretty cool that it can do that. But I'm going to start a brand new presentation. I'm going to do Control N, gives me a new presentation, and I'm going to open up Copilot. So I started out in a brand new presentation. You technically could have Copilot create a presentation for you by telling it what your topic is. You could say something like, create a presentation that has 5 slides related to how to create a pivot table. I think I'll go ahead and do that. Create a presentation with 5 slides describing how to use pivot tables, including images. So it's going to automatically start generating that. But you can also, so while I'm waiting for it to finish that, let me show you a document that I'm going to use in a second to have it automatically create a presentation for me. I'm going to open up this Word document just to show you what it looks like. And then what I'm going to do is have PowerPoint. So let me show you this here real quick. I'm going to have PowerPoint create a presentation based on this Word document. You can do that a couple of different ways, but PowerPoint can do it in about 2 seconds. Once again, I am using heading 1, heading 2, heading 3s. So I am using styles, so PowerPoint does understand that and creates different slides. So here's my presentation that I asked it to generate for me. Explore your data with pivot tables. It gave me a title slide with 5 slides with images as I had asked for. So here's my presentation. Now, of course, am I going to keep exactly what it gave me? No, I'm going to go in and kind of give it my own spin. But isn't that easy? Talk about a time saver. I am just blown away that we can do these kind of things these days. I couldn't have even dreamt this 20 years ago, 15 years ago, or even 5 years ago. I couldn't have thought that we would have this so soon in our lives. AI to me is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, just so you could see, this is what it generated. Now, of course, if I needed it to add more slides or whatever, I definitely could. But let me have it create a presentation from file. So in my pane on the right-hand side, I'm going to click create presentation from file. So it wants to know what is the file I want to use. It wasn't one of my most recent files, so I'll just have it go ahead and do it based on Copilot for 365. I could insert a different file, but I'll just go ahead and choose that one that's convenient right there. It can automatically create a presentation on anything that you have. It's pretty cool how that can do that. But I just like to tell it, create a new slide where slide number 2 is for this topic. I tell it all kinds of things like that and include a smart art graphic that is going to have these topics. I mean, it's just unbelievable what it is doing. It is doing the work by me just saying what it is I want it to do. So pretty cool. Creating a new presentation will replace your existing slides. Do you want to create a copy first? Do you want me to make the changes? I'll say, yes, please. It's going to replace this with what I told it to do. Just so you know that it's going to give you additional information to have you confirm exactly what it is that you want it to do. But PowerPoint is, one of those applications that we sometimes put a lot of work into it. Taking advantage of having Copilot in there is essential these days. I thought having the design options was terrific, but this to me is unbelievable. So anyway, it's giving me a draft first. It's saying, okay, I'm going to analyze your Word document first. Then I'm going to draft the presentation. So it's drafting the presentation based on what it found in my document. It's looking for those heading 1 type things again, like I'd mentioned. So it's not even, I'm not even in Word, it's just looking at a Word document that I have saved in the cloud somewhere. So anyway, pretty cool that it can do all of that. But we need to switch gears because we're going to be out of time before we know it. So I want to talk about another application that we use Copilot in, and that's Outlook. I love Copilot in Outlook. So let me go ahead and slide my window over here for Copilot. And I'll come back to that presentation and show you what it actually generated, but it's going to take a minute for it to get that done. And so let me demonstrate a couple of things here. So in Outlook, you have Copilot capabilities in different places. If you are selected on a message, so here's an email message that I was going, you know how you have conversations via email? You send a message to someone, they respond, you respond, they respond. We call that a conversation. What if you want a summary of that entire string of communication? This is my favorite thing. On the top right, when you are using the reading pane, which by the way, if you do not have the reading pane turned on, you can do so by going to the View tab of the ribbon and here in Outlook, go to the Layout group, go to Reading Pane. You want your reading pane turned on. On the right-hand side, I'm going to click Summarize. What it's going to do is look through this string of conversations and give me a summary of what was said during that. So Jolene confirmed this, Michelle Hansen informed Jolene, blah, blah, blah. It went back and forth and told me all of that. It's also giving me my little tags that I can use to jump to that part. So it automatically jumped me to this, which was a related file that was a part of this conversation. It's unbelievable what this could do. So anyway, this is how it can summarize. So be on an email that you've had a conversation kind of going back and forth. It can summarize that email to show you these are the highlights from that message. Once again, I have these numbers. I can click on it. It will automatically take me to the specific message that was related to that, whatever that topic happened to be. I'm going to go to the top right of the summary and I'm going to click on the X to close that up. If the conversation, of course, continues, you can always come back and get a summary again. Another place that you can be using Copilot, it's being incorporated in a lot of different areas, but if you do a new message, so if I do a new email, sorry, went to my other screen there, sorry about that. But when you're doing a new email message, you can use Copilot to help you write that message. You can see that I have Copilot right here on my message tab. If I click Copilot, I can have it help me draft with Copilot, or it can do coaching with Copilot, where it gets suggestions to help you write better emails. I'm just going to click first on this draft with Copilot. So what it's bringing up is a window saying, what do you want this email to say? Invite. Nope, I don't want to say invite because I'm not in Calendar, but I could do that in Calendar. I would say something like write an email about better communication during meetings. And I'll just say that for right now. Just so you know, you do have an adjust. When you click adjust, you could use the tone. You also can choose, do you want this to be short, medium, or long? I can make it a poem. Make it a poem. Isn't that great? Formal, it can be more casual, direct, etc. I'm going to say casual just to show you. I'm going to go to generate. And so I didn't give it a lot to go on, but I just wanted to briefly show you how that can work. I use this a lot. I wanted to help me write a letter to a customer to thank them for purchasing this specific product, whatever the case, you know, it can take an existing email, which I have several. It can take an existing email and help you rewrite it. Just like we were doing in Microsoft Word, it can help you do that. It can help you from scratch, or it can help you taking existing information and helping you rewrite it. It works that way in all of your apps. anyway, it came up with, I want to talk to you about how we can improve our communication during meetings, respect each other's speaking times, blah, blah, blah. So it's giving me some suggestions on what it is that I could use. If I'm done, all I have to do is go back and kind of put it into my own words a little bit, finish up the email and send it out. So it's a great option to have available. I'm going to go ahead and close this though, because we're almost out of time. But you want to just kind of be watching for where you see the Copilot icon or the Copilot features, like having the summary at the top right. When you create something new, whether you're in a calendar, and let's say that I'm going to create a new meeting and I need to have an agenda, it can actually help you write an agenda. I use that quite often. As a matter of fact, Microsoft Teams, which we can do a whole session just on Teams, it has a lot of capabilities there in Teams. But you want to kind of make sure that you're taking advantage of what it is that Copilot has to offer. Now we only have a couple minutes here. So I want to kind of transition to our last application real quick and talk about Microsoft Teams. I won't go through a ton of things in Teams because there is a separate session we can do just on Teams. But right now, when you come into Microsoft Teams, you can go to the chat on the left-hand side, and right away at the top, you're going to see Copilot. So when you click on Copilot, it's going to look the same as what you saw when we went to the Copilot app. So if I log into my Microsoft account, it's exactly that same Copilot. So I can use it exactly the same way that I did. I can also use Copilot directly within a chat. So if I go to a chat with a person and I'm going to go ahead and type in a message to that person, down at the menu underneath that chat, I can click Copilot. So Copilot can help me write the chat or rewrite the chat. Even if I'm in a team and I go to a channel, and if I'm on the post, if I start a new post, I have Copilot available here as well. It's a matter of getting yourself familiar with what the icon looks like to find things a little bit quicker. So Copilot is available. It can help you rewrite, or it can help you write something brand new. So it's available in both of those places. But to be honest with you, I don't always go to chat, click on the icon at the top for Copilot. Instead, I want to have quick, easy access to it all the time. I don't want to have to go to chat to get it. What I do is I go to the ... on the left-hand side of the menu bar. From here, click Copilot. It will give you the Copilot icon on the menu bar on the left. I don't usually go to my online Microsoft account. I'm always in Teams, so this is how I use it. And if you right-click the Copilot icon, you can pin it so that it will stay there. So this is how mine normally looks. I normally have Copilot here. So anytime that I need it, whether I'm making a call, doing an appointment, whatever, if I need to use Copilot to look up things based on a coworker or whatever, I have it right here. I don't have to go someplace else to access Copilot. Now, I know that that was a lot of information in a very short period of time. Your handout is going to give you some additional information and kind of expand on what it is that I was talking about. As I said, I just wanted to show you a couple of different areas that you can utilize Teams, Copilot within Teams, I should say. We do have a different session that we'll do just on Teams alone, because Copilot in Teams is very powerful, and they've even made some enhancements since it was released. So look forward to covering that with you someday. But otherwise, Jason, did we have any questions from anybody today that we need to go through?
I'm not seeing any more at this point. If someone does have another question, we can go through the rest of the the script and then go back. So
okay, good.
I don't see anything. Oh, you're welcome. Someone thanked us. Thank you. No problem. All right. So also, if you enjoyed this, please check out our other ITS trainings on the networkpro.net. Go to the Learn IT with TNP tab on our webpage and click on the trainings. You'll see a variety of amazing training content from ChatGPT, Outlook, SharePoint, Teams, OneNote, cybersecurity, and this gets more and more interesting between Copilot and the ChatGPT. Just
Yes.
how quickly things change. So pretty amazing stuff. So here's our contact info. Kevin Studley is our Director of Regional Sales. Adana Williams is our Director of IT Technical Management in Arizona. These webinars are done free of charge because we believe this is valuable information to you. And one of those pieces that helps us accomplish our mission. If you found this webinar valuable, always ask that you pay the admission fee. It's kind of sending this to a friend. And to be sure that you do not miss any of our upcoming webinars, scan the QR code that's there to be included on our invite list for technology training. So thank you again for everyone for your time. I still don't see any questions. So I think we're good there, and have a great week, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Jolene.
You
Thanks,
bet.
everyone.
Bye-bye.